Hello. All right, in this video, I will be showing you how to make a paper cylinder. Whoops, it's a paper cylinder. It's gonna go on my paper strip sculpture. I know you can't see that, but there you go. That's gonna be my paper cylinder. So, there's a couple of ways you can, well, there's really one easy way to make a cylinder, but there are a couple of ways you can attach your cylinder to your paper, and I'm gonna show you how to do that. So I just took a piece of paper and I cut it in half so I can make two cylinders for you guys. The first thing I want to do to make my cylinder is, if you're using tape, I go ahead and I pull a little strip of tape off and I put it on one end of my paper with a little bit of that tape, about half of that strip of tape hanging off. All right, just like that. And now I can take my piece of paper and I can start rolling it into a cylinder just by bringing the untaped edge over, and I want to kind of overlap those two pieces to make my cylinder however skinny I want it to be. And then I'm just going to take my tape and I'm going to press it down. So this is one way to make a cylinder with tape. And then if you want to attach that cylinder, you can use tape or paper tape again. I'm gonna do paper tape with you guys because I know not everyone has a piece of tape. So I am going to just cut two strips like so. And now I have two strips of paper tape ready to go. And I'm gonna fold my first paper strip in half. And like we did with the cube, making the paper tape, we're just gonna do 3 little dots of glue on one half of my paper tape. And I'm gonna put it down on the bottom of my cylinder, wherever I want. But I'm lining up that fold that I made when I folded my paper tape in half. I'm lining that up with the bottom, making sure my paper tape is straight-ish. All right, now I've got a piece of paper tape ready to go. I'm gonna just sort of ignore that for a second while I make my second piece of paper tape. So again, fold it in half. And 3 little dots on just one half of the glue. Now, on the other side of my cylinder, I'm going to put this second piece of paper tape. I am lining that fold up with the bottom of my cylinder again. Gonna just hold this down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, now I have my pieces of paper tape ready to go. And I am going to, now I'm ready to attach it to my paper. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You don't have to squeeze your glue really hard, but there's my paper tape ready to be glued. And now, you see, I think this is a great spot for my first cylinder. So I'm gonna hold down that paper tape. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. There's my first cylinder. Now, the second cylinder, say you don't have tape. How do I glue my cylinder together? What you're gonna do is you're gonna take your paper and you're gonna just do on one end, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little dots. That's how many I was able to get. But I just put little dots of glue along the end of one side of my paper, and how we did, like we did when we were just taping it, we're gonna start rolling our paper up into a cylinder to be however skinny or wide we want it. I might do this one a little bit wider. So there's my cylinder, and then you just overlap those papers with the glue side touching the other side of the paper. And then you're just gonna hold it until that glue dries a little bit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. liquid glue does take a little bit longer to dry, so, you know, be patient, give yourself some time. If it accidentally squeezes out the side, just kind of wipe it off, that's okay. But if you use too much, what happens is your paper gets kind of wet. Like I accidentally maybe used a little too much right there. And it's a little wobbly now on one end. So that's gonna be good. I'm gonna leave it like that. So now, this is how you can attach a cylinder to a piece of paper. But what happens when you do it this way is your cylinder gets shorter. So if you're gonna do this method, you wanna make sure you add a little bit of extra paper to accommodate the lost height that you're gonna have. So if you want a tower that is 4 inches tall, you might wanna add another inch or 5 inches to make it so when you're done, it's actually gonna be 4 inches tall. Now, what I like to do is I'm gonna take my scissors and I'm gonna just do like little cuts. I'm not gonna cut all the way to the other side of my cylinder. I'm just making little inch-long cuts. And I'm gonna do a couple of those around my cylinder. All right, I have all of these little tabs or flaps, and what I'm gonna do is I'm going to start folding them up like this. And now I'm left with something that kind of looks like this. This is really cool looking on just on its own. Like I could do this and then make some paper tabs, and I have this cool little like flower looking tunnel or tube cylinder. It's a cylinder. Now I'm gonna just add a single dot of glue on each of these little tabs if I can. Oh, my glue bottle is closed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. All right, now, just like we've been doing with our paper strips, I'm going to take this and I'm going to just start pushing down my tabs like this. And I'll just hold each one until it's dry. And sometimes this takes a little bit of work, but you can do it. I know you can. All right, and there's my cylinder. I made 2 cylinders, one where the tabs were made from the cylinder, and another one where we made paper tape tabs to hold it down.